Hey guys, it's Glasses Senpai. Welcome to part 2 of how to draw Emilia from Ray Zero. We left off putting all the basic guidelines in and all of our basic line work, and we left off right when I finished up the hair and some of the smaller details. Without further ado, I'll just go ahead and get right into these facial expressions, and I'll zoom in for you guys real quick. There we go. Now, we're going to go ahead and put in the eyes first. Now I'm going to go ahead and put down a quick little guideline just to mark the top and the bottom of the eyes. That way, we can have some consistency. So we'll put a mark down here. And a mark right around here. As your eyes touch the top of her hairline. Now, I'm just looking at my reference here, and I'm gonna go ahead and sketch this in real quick. Get on to the iris here. Now these eyes are kind of rounded, but they're also like egg shape. Probably closer to an egg-like shape, if anything, from what I'm seeing here. Now we're gonna go ahead and sketch in the other eye real quick. Now her eyes kinda have an interesting shape to them. As you get near the outer edge, it just keeps going up, like at a slope, if you can see that. So you're gonna slope it up, and then curve it right back down. Like so. Put in our eyelashes. There's 3 of them. One on the outer edge, one in the middle, and one on the inner edge. Left eye is a little bit too short, so I'll go ahead and fix that real quick. Getting the eyes exactly the same is pretty difficult. So if you have to erase a lot on this part, that's completely understandable. Even I have a lot of trouble with this part. Just always look at your reference to make sure you're getting the eyes in and other features in correctly so they'll look like they should. There we go. Redraw our eyelashes in. And there we go, we have our relatively basic shape of our eye. And I noticed right below the iris, there's just these two very small little lines right below the iris. They're not long, they're very short, they're almost like dots really. Now let's go ahead and move on to the eyebrows here. Now Emilia has some pretty short and almost centered eyebrows. They're right around here, and they start at the inner edge of the eye and they end at 3/4 to the outer edge, roughly. I'm just going to turn my paper here so I can get some good leverage. That way my wrist can make these lines a little bit more smooth. Just take advantage of that natural motion of the wrists. I'm kind of trying to go for a happy look, so trying to curve these eyebrows up a little bit, but not too much, just so we can get a pretty good expression of happiness. Now my pencil's a little bit bold here for the eyebrows, but we don't really have to worry about that now because I'm gonna ink that in later and do some very thin and fine ink. So no need to worry about that. But if you so choose to not ink this in, make sure you don't put your pencil lines too thick for the eyebrows, because the eyebrows on Emilia are like very thin and delicate. Alright, now let's go ahead and move on to the mouth real quick. Now we're just gonna do a super simple smile. Try saying that 5 times fast. Super simple smile. You actually tried it. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put in something real simple. Right around the edge of our circle, I think will be a good spot. There we go. Just a little bit below the edge of our circle, I made a little smile here. I made a little gap here in the bottom because that's a pretty common, I guess you could call it theme for manga, anime, you name it. Like they usually don't like to draw a solid line most of the time. Granted for boys manga, sometimes they will just have it as a solid line, but most of the time they actually leave a gap right around the bottom edge of the mouth. It actually does look pretty cool that way. And lastly, well, almost lastly, we're just gonna put a little small angled line for her nose, right where our lines for the eyes, our guidelines, are intersecting, like our vertical and our horizontal lines meet, and we'll just pop in a little nose there. And there's just a little bit more line work here for the eyes. Almost once again, kind of like an egg shape, but you're only drawing the sides. And then the eyes for Emilia, I haven't really seen this very much at all with this eye design. Like the pupils themselves aren't black, they're actually a completely different color. So that is going to be pretty fun. So I'm just going to sketch a little outline of our pupil, just to give me an idea of where it is, because I'm going to have to go straight in with a marker for that, probably. I'm not going to be able to use my black ink for that. So just mark that out. And there we go. We are now finished with our line work. Well, penciled line work. So now I'll go ahead and quickly move on to inking. Now I might put some of this in time lapse just for sake of time, because I understand that the last video was relatively long. Gotta have my coffee. Nothing like coffee in the morning. But I'm gonna go ahead and start inking this in. I might kick this in the time lapse and just give a few words of advice here and there. But I gotta make it quick because I got to go to work early today. Yay, not really. Anyway, let's get to it. I just wanted to kick this out of time lapse for 1 second here to just show you guys a little tip I thought would be useful to you guys. Right now, I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but I'm using a 0.3 size Copic pen. Now, usually some of you might be thinking, well, that's a rather large size to ink it in with, and other yous have no idea. Now, the reason I'm using a thick pen here is because what I can do is I can control how thick the ink goes on. See, I can go in at an angle like this, just like this, and I can make the ink come in very thin, almost like it's a 0.05 or a 0.1. Or I can go more vertical and have really thick ink, very thick flowing lines, fully taking advantage of that 0.3 size tip. But I just thought I'd let you guys know that, because it's a pretty handy thing to know. So you can literally get like 3 pens uses out of 1 pen. So just thought I'd let you guys know while I'm just sketching this part out. Anyway, back into time lapse. Alright guys, we are almost done with all of our inking. I know I put a lot of that in time-lapse, but just for the mere sake of the video being a little bit shorter than it was last time. And excuse the lawnmower outside, my dad is cutting the grass, so don't mind him. But anyway, we're almost done here with our inking. And we're just going to do the eyes real quick. Put a nice thick layer of ink on the upper part of the eyes, like so, as the outside part of Emilia's eyes are relatively thickly inked, but it looks pretty cool that way, in my opinion. I'm just gonna use a 0.1 real quick, put the little nose in, put in the mouth. There we go. And just that little the fine lines within the eyes. And there we go. We have now completed all of the inking for Emilia. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching me draw, and I'll see you in the next one when I take this and I'll color it in and all that good stuff. If you like what you see, feel free to stick around, subscribe if you'd like to, and I appreciate your feedback, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.
On the walls to lock you in or to keep others away.